What's up, everyone? Week 7 for the Patriots. So I'm George Blechy, as always, joined by Nesson, Patriots beat reporter Zach Cox for our Wednesday chats. Zach, the Pats preparing for the Jets this year, the one-win Jets, with a beat back on week 2. But let's start out with the defense. Dont'a Hightower, notable starter, not practicing from what we saw today, but one of 2 starters out for the Pats.
Yeah, DAVON, the starting defensive tackle, also not present during the open media portion of practice. And yeah, as you mentioned, that's 2 defensive starters not available, obviously very early in the week, only Wednesday. They've still got Thursday and Friday practice to kind of get back onto the field. But Hightower is definitely a notable name in there because he got banged up a little bit during the this past Sunday's game against the Cowboys, was able to come back on the field, but he's someone who had kind of been building some momentum. I thought he looked a little bit rusty at the start of the year. It seemed to be kind of on an upward trajectory, but yeah, if you lose him to an injury, that kind of resets that process a little bit. So certainly a player the Patriots hope to get back on the field before Sunday.
Especially as they have their questions of depth in the secondary as well, so all layers on the defense, it seems like right now.
Absolutely, yeah. The secondary has really been rough these past couple of weeks, just from a depth perspective. If you look at this past game against Dallas, their 4th cornerback was Justin Bethel, who was a special teamer, and before Sunday he had played 17 total defensive snaps for the Patriots over 30 games. Did make a nice play in pass coverage against the Cowboys, but yeah, just kind of shows where the Patriots are from this secondary depth perspective. They brought up Miles Bryant from the practice squad this week, reportedly worked out. Brian Poole today, formerly of the Falcons, formerly of the Jets, spent some time with the Saints this preseason, so we'll see if he ends up being signed. But yeah, Patriots definitely taking some steps to address that shortcoming right now.
Now, of course, today's a day in the week ending in Y, so I got to ask you about the offensive line. We saw Michael Onwenu when we were at practice taking more reps at right tackle. Isaiah Wynn still left. Shaq Mason back at right guard. What's your read on how the offensive line may fare for this Sunday? Yeah,
the Onwenu angle is something really interesting and something that people, I think, have been clamoring for a couple weeks now. Michael Onwenu was very good at right tackle last season. Patriots moved him over to left guard. Guard was the position he played all throughout college after they traded, or after Joe Thuney left in free agency. Seemed like they really wanted to keep him in that spot. They weren't giving him much work at all at tackle. They finally caved this past week, put him over at right tackle against the Cowboys. I thought he played pretty well. I think the Patriots O-line, at least until Trent Brown is back and healthy, their best bet is to have Michael Onwenu at right tackle, have Ted Karras at that left guard spot. We'll see if they agree, but it does seem like they are now leaning a little bit more toward sticking Mike Onwenu there at right tackle.
Now, of course, the offensive line had a good performance for the Cowboys on the ground game, at least, running for over 100 yards, led by Damian Harris. Ramondre Stevenson played good as well. And we saw the big people package from Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels really leading aggressive, successful offensive drives early in the game. But later off, it tapered off, and we saw a lot of decision-making, especially late in the game. You go back to that punt in overtime to give it to the Cowboys being a big question mark for everybody. When hearing from Bill Belichick, hearing from Josh McDaniels this week, do you think there'll be any change in that type of decision-making instead of punting, maybe going forward, trusting the offense more?
Yeah, I don't know. It's been really uncharacteristic this season. The Patriots just have not been willing to keep their offense on the field on 4th down really at all this year. They've only attempted 3 4th down conversions through 6 games. All 3 of those came on that final drive against the Saints when they were down by 15, basically in garbage time. Other than that, they have punted or kicked a field goal on every single 4th down that they've faced so far, including some high-profile ones. You mentioned the one punting in overtime the other day, also against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, trying that 56-yard field goal in the rain on 4th and 3 rather than trying to pick up that 1st down. I don't know if some of their struggles will sort of shift Bill Belichick's thinking on any of this, but you just look at the numbers. They're on pace for 8.5 4th down conversion attempts this season. Their average throughout the Belichick era, 15.5. So they are way down from that number this year. Maybe they just don't really trust this Mac Jones-led offense yet, but I think they should, because what they've been trying so far just really hasn't been working.
And of course, a good week for them to get back on track, for lack of a better term, taking on the Jets. But I love the parity. You could look just in this division alone. The Jets beat the Titans by a field goal. The Titans beat the Bills on Monday night. So we'll see if the Pats can beat the Jets again and pull off a season sweep early in the year.
Yeah, it's definitely a game that the Patriots should win. They played the Jets a couple weeks back. They won 25-6. Zach Wilson threw 4 interceptions. But as you mentioned, the Jets have been better of late. They beat a banged-up Titans team 2 weeks ago. They're coming off a bye. You got to imagine Zach Wilson will be a little bit more comfortable now that he's had a couple of starts under his belt. The last time they played, it was his 2nd NFL start, and the Patriots were really able to take advantage of that. So definitely a game the Patriots should win, but I wouldn't say that this is a guarantee by any means with the way the Patriots have played so far.
This Sunday, 1 p.m. at Gillette Stadium. Patriots will face the Jets before they head to the road for 2 weeks. As always, Zach Cox, Nesson, Patriots beat reporter. Appreciate you joining me, brother.
Thank you.